There's two examples that I want you to hear from this video that may help you on your own journey to understand that it is you. It's not the other. It's you. And I really love the people in my community because they are eager, they're yearning, they want to know. They really show up for themselves. And they could do anything. They just show up for themselves and they want to have answers. And they also want to know things. So yesterday we were talking about a situation where the person was saying, you know what, I have been in that situation and I have been seeing how to approach them, how to speak to them, how to assist them, how to move with them, and I haven't found it yet. And another part of it is also resistance, the next step, resistance in the next step. So the first thing is, it's not the other, it's you. Everything that you experience in your life is you pushed out. There's no other. And a few weeks ago, when I was in my sleep, I was thinking, no, I was still sleeping, and I was aware I was thinking, and all of a sudden there's this voice in my head, there is no other. And it's just this, for me it's a reference because I know that, and I was slacking off into my human, into specific patterns of thinking that I have been thinking before in my life, and with moments they just come back. So that was a beautiful recalibration, a beautiful pinpoint of the work that I've been doing with myself. And then this crystal clear reminder of my higher self or consciousness or whatever it was, to say, you know what, Sige, this is your recalibration, this is your starting point, null point. And so with this person sharing, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna stop you right there, and I totally get where you are. I totally get where you are. And going through all of this, working on yourself, getting to understand the emotional states that you're in, and also the mental states that you're in, you will get to understand it's not about the other, it's you, and the answers are within you. The universe is mental, okay? The all is mental, meaning everything that we create are mental projections of interpretations that we have within us, based upon conditioning, upon experiences that we had, by being immersed in the human, really being in our emotions, really being in the stories, really being in the thick of it, in this 3D, experiencing it, feeling the pain, feeling the consequences, feeling whatever it is, right? Feeling the pressure, the limitations, the restrictions, everything. And then going on in your head about it. How can I solve this? How can I fix this? Always thinking the solution is outside of you. And this is why I think it's just a genius who came up with all of this. Because we, with our ego, and ego I say because we are an individualized, an individuated aspect of this bigger thing. So we have our own unique experience, we have our own traits, we have our own insights, we have our own assumptions, decisions that we made based upon the experiences that we had in life. So we have our own narrative about the things we experience in this life. And it may have been extremely repetitive. It may have been extremely human. You may have felt that, you know, you were so in the thick of it that you decided, you know what, this is it. This is a thing, perhaps I'm imagining myself things. Yes, because when you go back to the ideas of that the solution is outside of you, you will always will be shown a reality that is outside of you. Isn't that marvelous? So everything is you pushed out. There's nothing to change but self. It's only us that we can take responsibility for our emotions and our thoughts. It's not what you have been doing, it's what have you been thinking, and what have you allowed to engage with in your mind, and that set up emotions that we engage with as well, and then we get to be lost in that emotion. We get to step onto a train. That train is driving 100 kilometers an hour and there's no stopping. There's no stopping, so you're on it. And to get off that train, well, it takes a while. And you can be on that train for weeks, for months, even for years, for decades, if you allow it. Once you start realizing, you know what? Maybe there's only one common denominator in all these experiences, and that's me. What have I been allowing? So for that person in that situation, it's also, yeah, you're in the right place. You're literally in the right place. First we have to, show up to ourselves as, taking responsibility, and then getting to understand, what can I do for me right now to create some sort of peace, some pause within me, so I don't stay on this tangent of I have to, I solve, I must, I should have, I could have, all of these things. Right? Because life is happening right now. When you're truly overthinking the whole thing the whole time, you're not really living, you're being lived by your thoughts. And what you have been experiencing, of course, has been your experience. And again, you are just entertaining a memory over and over again. Can you see that? And that memory can evolve into something that may have not really happened. You're just so convinced that it has been that way, and then you toss and turn and you put it from different angles and perspectives, and then you're just replaying that part of it over and over again, completely off track, right? You're not present, you're not focused on the life right now, you're not even acknowledging yourself for your existence, for this life, for existence, right? There's no in the moment experience. You're either in your head, and then you're jumping to the future on how you can solve that, perhaps feeling anxiety because of it, because you're feeling victim mode. Can you recognize all of this? All right, let me know in the comments. Give me the number 1 if you recognize all of this what I'm sharing. So that's the pattern. It's up to you to recognize it, and it's up to you to say, you know what, I am allowing this. I don't have to go there. This is just trained behavior, because nobody ever made me aware that yes, this is what I do, and yes, I allow myself to get lost in it, and it's not really productive for actually the things that I'm looking forward to move to. It's just keeping me off track. So that's one thing. And then the second thing is, so thoughts is the language of the mind, and feelings is the language of the body. And the importance here is that you set up coherence between the mind and the heart, and also your gut, okay? The beauty of all of this is that there's so much for us to discover once we allow ourselves to go there. Your life can change dramatically, drastically, when you allow yourself to go there. Now, what is needed for you to go there is to be comfortable with the discomfort, and to have trust to build trust, and not to listen to the stories in your head thrown up by the ego, because the ego knows that you can survive easily. You have been doing that probably for years, for decades. So it knows that it can stay powerful by pressuring you to feel all types of emotions. And if you don't know how to deal with those emotions, you will push them away. You will feel resistance, and you will feel the distraction of doing something else. Scrolling on your phone without putting any timer, or just in a moment that it matters, that you know the discomfort is there, you have a point of decision. You can either stay with it and stay present, and I share with you ways how you can do that, how you can support yourself, help yourself, how you can really look beyond, to go beyond, and really understanding those blind spots, really understanding those narratives, really moving through, alchemizing these emotional states that you have been so trained in to be familiar with. You don't even recognize that is not that balance, that is not that you don't have that well-being there, that you're literally surviving, that you're literally, what's the words, perhaps you have compulsive behavior, perhaps you're just compensating, perhaps you're overgiving, perhaps you're just dismissing yourself, rejecting yourself, abandoning yourself, just to cope with the situation. Give me a 2 if that resonates with you. Right? So the resistance is a big part of, okay, how can I teach myself to be comfortable with the discomfort? Obviously, there's something that I can learn here. So that's what we did in the community yesterday. And then the feedback of the people was just marvelous. It's such a big gift to be able to experience that for yourself. You never went there. And when you're guided there, it's just like a door opens to a world that's inside of you that you never accessed, that you didn't even know was there. And the depth of you entering, it's not a cave, it's a treasure, right? It's a portal. Your body in itself actually is a portal. Your emotions are a portal. Your thinking is a portal. It's body, mind, soul, and heart. Yes, and the bird is confirming it. So, you know what? This life is such a blessing. When you acknowledge there's so much that I don't know. And one time I was in a program and this person said, you know what? 2 people were there. 2 amazing people. And they say scientists have discovered that what we see as humans from this whole reality, we only see 3%, or was it 5 or 7%? I don't know, right? In this range, we only experience with our human 3 to 7% of everything that's out there in the universe. So thinking that with our minds we know all, yes, creating technology, having these screens, communicating over the internet, and it's actually working on the same principle as our thoughts and our emotions. Except the thing is, this is physical. So everybody, okay, I don't know how it works. It works, so that's good, right? You don't need to be a technician. You don't need to be a car mechanic to drive a car. You don't need to be an electrician to use electricity. The same with this, right? And everybody has a capacity with their emotions and with their thoughts. And then they say, I don't know how that works, and then just be blind for it, and then just let live our lives like we have been taught to, even though it has not been working, right? So yeah, all I want to share first, there's nothing to change but self, and second, the resistance. And I'm not talking about a lion in front of you. I need to, get yourself safe. No, I'm talking about what happens in our head and what happens beneath the surface in our body, and then us being fearful that we're not safe, that we don't know what to do, right? You're safe, you got it. You're right now responsible for yourself. When you take up that responsibility, you can actually hold that space for you and rebuild that trust and the safety within. And if this speaks to you, then let's talk. I see many people really overcoming things in their life they have been dealing with, yeah, for since their whole life, perhaps since childhood, perhaps since generations, right? It's breaking the generational patterns, perhaps for I don't know how many lifetimes. So you're welcome. I have a masterclass coming up the 26th of June. I will share a link in the description. And also, if you want to work with me, I have group programs, I have private coaching. Let's talk. This life is so beautiful, and when you know how you can deal with your mental and emotional states, you know, the world is yours. The world is yours. Talk to you very soon. And if you have questions, let me know. Subscribe, like, engage in the comments. I really long to know what's happening for you. And also you can ask me questions. I'll share a link in the description as well on Breakthrough Bridge. It's 2 Q&A calls a month. There's a subscription fee for it. We do a Q&A, and you know, the answers that you get there will be better than you receive with your AI. This is about consciousness, okay? Consciousness is not in AI. All right. Talk to you very soon. Mwah. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.